A Manifesto for Hope, a new social covenant. If we're going to build and fund an integrated and holistic system of care for children, young people and their families, one which is aligned and attuned to the real needs of those it seeks to serve, we have to reimagine society together. We therefore call on central government to establish a new social covenant that:
Number 1, replaces the political cycle is all that matters short-term policymaking approach and the financial wastage that accompanies it, with a cross-party written commitment to an agreed set of core principles to be honoured over a 20-year period
in order to reimagine and rebuild our expensive but suboptimal systems. Number 2, creates a new generation of visionary cross-system government leaders and officers responsible for delivering joined-up systems with a specific focus across education, social care, healthcare and mental health, housing, policing and justice,
in order to connect the policies and practices that are supposed to protect and nurture every child and young person. Number 3, builds a deepened sense of trust between government, local authorities, funders, private and voluntary agencies and local neighbourhoods by establishing a model of collaboration and mutual accountability around our vital community building services designed to empower ordinary people and whole communities. Number 4, acknowledges the central role
of the voluntary sector, local charities, grassroots movements and faith groups in more imaginative,
more collaborative, less bureaucratic, more transparent and mutually accountable approach to community development.
Number 5, design services with local people rather than for them by listening hard to the people they're seeking to serve, thus enabling individuals and whole communities to become change makers and take responsibility for their own lives and neighbourhoods. Number 6, realigns funding priorities.
Create a new focus on longer-term partnerships with more core funding and avoids the negative competition for resources by local organisations, which by its very nature has eroded trust, created confusion, wasted time and resources, and fails to deliver the desired outcomes. Number 7, reimagines the anchor role education plays in order to end
the culture of exclusion from our schools and develops a greater focus on the issue of childhood adversity, the nurture and the support for vulnerable children and the extension of special educational needs support to enable every child to succeed. Number 8, facilitates
and invests in the essential but neglected role of an effective youth service to work in tandem with schools in a relationship of mutual respect in order to create more holistic care for all young people. Number 9, recognises the urgent need for education, social care, healthcare, housing, policing and justice policy and practice to catch up with our 21st century neurological and psychological understanding
of child and adolescent development.
Number 10, promotes a national conversation around the recognition that external transformation is never enough.
And that the impact of poverty, disadvantage and exclusion can only be addressed in a deep and sustainable manner when the right of every child to a standard of living adequate for the child's physical, mental, spiritual, moral and social development, as set out in the United Nations Conventions of the Rights of the Child, is vigorously pursued.
And at the heart of all this sits a new social covenant, one that will transform the life chances of young people and families around our country. It's time to reimagine. It's time for a manifesto for hope.